Everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new DC Comics Icon 6-inch The Joker figure from DC Collectibles. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we see with all the Icons figures. You've got the window box with the white and purple highlights for the Joker, the name of the character off to the side, and it tells us this is figure number 14 in the series. On the other side of the packaging, it tells us that this figure is based on a Death in the Family storyline, and then on the back of the packaging we have a look at all the figures in the wave. So Joker, John Stewart, Green Lantern, Firestorm, and Static. And then down below it tells us that the figure was designed by Ivan Reyes and sculpted by Joe Mina. Okay, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging along with the other contents. Now before we look at the actual figure, let's first take a look at all the accessories that come with it. Okay, so first of all, we get several different types of hands with this figure. So we get a pair of closed-fisted hands, and these are what are attached to the figure when you first take it out of the packaging. Now the other three hands that we get are all right hands. So one of the hands, this one here, is for holding the machine gun that he comes with. And you can see he's got the trigger finger. And then this hand is for holding the crowbar that he comes with, and it's got a tighter grip. And then this third hand, he's got the thumb that kind of sticks up, and he's got this finger that sticks out. It's too wide for holding the machine gun. I think this is made to be so he's kind of like tipping his hat, and I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. But really this hand seems to me a little bit on the redundant side. Switching the hands out is easy. You just pull the hand out that you want to replace, and you've got the little peg on the actual hand, and then you just plug in the hand that you want to replace it with, and it should fit in nice and tight. Now this is that third hand I said that I think is for kind of like flipping his hat like this, so you can kind of, you know, it looks like he's kind of tilting his hat or something. So again, I don't know if that's what it's really supposed to be, but that's the best I could come up with for the purpose of this third hand. The figure also comes with this Tommy machine gun, and the sculpting detail on this is pretty nice. You've got the little circle magazine, and you've got some sculpting on the front of it, and then you've got the brown for the handle and the back stock and everything, and a metallic gun gray for the rest of the gun. So overall it's not super intricate with paint detail, but I think the sculpting is pretty nice with it. And then he also comes with this crowbar, which he uses to beat the crap out of Jason Todd Robin in the storyline of Death in the Family. And there's no blood or anything on it, it's just a metallic silver. And as I said, with the machine gun you want to use the hand with the trigger finger, and it'll hold it nice and tight. For the crowbar you want to use the grip hand that's a little bit tighter, and you have to kind of wedge it between the thumb and the fingers for him to hold it really tight. But once you get it in there, he does hold it, and it doesn't fall or drop or anything. So for the figure itself, I like the overall look of it for the most part. There are a few minor complaints, mostly with the legs. I think he looks a little bow-legged, and you really can't get the legs to push in anymore. So the way he stands, it comes off as looking a little bow-legged to me. Also with the knees, the kneecaps stand out a little bit. The purple is a little bit lighter color than the rest of the leg. So those stand out a little bit to me. They're mostly covered up by the coat, so they don't stand out that much. But when you pull the coat back, you definitely kind of notice that difference of color between the kneecap and the rest of the leg. Otherwise though, I think this is a pretty nice looking figure. The coat itself is that kind of vinyl material like we see with capes and everything, and the vest part is kind of attached to the coat, so it's all one piece. The sleeves of the coat are actually sculpted, so the back of the coat is actually glued. If you really wanted to get it off, you could, but you would still have the sleeves of the coat on there. He's got the little flower on his lapel, which I like, and then he's got the little string tie, and he's got the old-fashioned looking hat, which is purple, and you got the little black stripe, so I like that. This version of the Joker always reminded me of an evil version of Ronald McDonald, and I think overall they've captured that likeness with this figure. He's got the big red, he's got the big grin with the red lipstick, and he's got the green hair, the bright green hair, which you can see under the hat. It would have been nice if maybe the hat was removable, or we got an alternate head without the hat, but still I think it looks pretty good. Now I will say with the eyes on this, he's got the green eyebrows, but then with the eyes, like we see with a lot of these figures, he's got some red in the eyes. You know, looks like he's been up all night or something, needs some Visine. So, you know, we've seen that with other figures in this line. I'm not sure why, and it's not that noticeable unless you really kind of magnify it and look up close to it, but you can kind of notice it when you're really looking at it. The lines on the pants are sculpted on there, and then the shoes, he's got the white shoes with the purple, and so I think that looks pretty good as well. The figure, if you count to the top of his hat, stands roughly about 6¼ inches tall. Here he is next to the Icon's Harley Quinn figure, and the Joker is taller. I think the scale between these two is pretty good. Here he is next to Batman, and Joker is taller than Batman here. So again, this Batman figure comes off as being a little bit on the short side. Articulation, you can turn the head to the left and to the right, and he's got some back and forth movement with the head, and you can kind of pivot it to the left and the right as well. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder, so you can get his arm out good, and he's got good rotation. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a double jointed elbow, so good bending at the elbow. He's got swivels at the wrists, and then he's got hinges on the hands, so he's got good up and down movement with the hands. He does have an ab crunch joint. He can crunch down about that much, and then he can look back a little bit, but it is limited with the coat. He does not have a waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits about that much, and then you can get the leg forward pretty good, and you can do the leg kind of out and back, but the coat limits that movement a good amount. He does not have a thigh swivel. He's got the double hinged knee, so he's got good bending at the knee, and then he's got hinges on the feet, so he's got good up and down movement, and he does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I like the look of this Joker figure. I like the purple hat and coat. I like the face sculpt. I like the jawline and the big grin and everything. Not only do I think it looks like a homicidal Ronald McDonald, but I also think it looks very reminiscent of the Jack Nicholson Joker. Now, that being said, I do have some complaints. I don't really like the way the legs look. They look a little bit bow-legged, and I don't really like how the kneecaps are a little bit lighter purple than the rest of the legs. Those things are not terribly noticeable when you have the coat covering them, but when you pull the coat back, you definitely do kind of notice that. Otherwise, though, I think it's a decent figure. The only other complaint I would have is I would say it'd been nice if we had gotten an extra left hand, not just that closed-fisted, but maybe an open one for holding the machine gun in two-handed poses, or being able to get the crowbar in two-handed poses. But again, otherwise, I think this is a pretty nice-looking Joker, and if you're a fan of the character, I think this is one you want to add to your collection. Now, this figure, as far as I know of, has not yet seen a wide release. I was able to pick this up off of eBay for about cost, but like my comic book shop hasn't gotten it, and I haven't seen it listed on the Diamond shipping list. I don't know exactly when this figure or the rest of the wave is going to see a wide release. It should probably be soon, as last I checked with DC Collectibles, they had said it was going to be released towards the end of the summer. We'll have a full gallery of images up at toynewseye.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook and or Twitter pages. I'll have links to those in the video description below. And until next time, I'll catch you later.